In a previous video, I stated that the Daniel Defense PDW is the best 300 Blackout. And well, every time I look at the comments, you guys say this. Yeah, everyone keeps saying the SIG Rattler. So what better way to compare than to bring it out? Welcome back to Silent Pew. Today we are out at the range, and as you can see, we are sitting in 20-degree weather. How we got here, I am not quite sure. It is cold, but we are out here bringing the content every single week. With that said, if you can appreciate that, go ahead and drop a like on this video right now. Now, like I said, the Daniel Defense PDW is the best 300 Blackout, but you guys keep telling me that it's the SIG Rattler. So we brought the SIG Rattler out. We're gonna test this out, and we're gonna take a look at if this is truly the best 300 Blackout. Before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. First and foremost, out front, we're gonna be running the Chimera 30 cal can from SilencerCo. Then under this handrail, we actually have a 5.5 inch 300 Blackout barrel, along with a 2-position adjustable gas block. As you can see there, that's pretty easy to make adjustments with. Up top, we have ourselves the Romeo 4T Pro for our optic. And then on the back, we've got ourselves this SIG stock. Besides that, everything else on this gun is gonna be stock from the factory, including the trigger. So the only thing that we can't take into account from that Daniel Defense is gonna be that Geisley trigger. So let's check it out. Go ahead and drop down in the comments below if and why you think the Rattler is the best 300 Blackout on the market. Now, obviously, some of the argument revolved around the twist rate in the barrel being 1 in 5 versus the 1 in 7 for better stabilization, especially for the 300 Blackout round. Now, the big question I have is a 5.5 inch barrel enough when you have 300 Blackout compared to a 7, 8, or even a 9 inch barrel? So let's get into it. Before we get into the suppressed shooting, we are gonna go ahead and take a couple shots without the suppressor, and we've got that SilencerCo ASR muzzle brake on. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a couple shots. Okay, so just initially, it feels pretty good in terms of the recoil impulse. Man, it is loud though. Yeah, so we can definitely feel that 300 Blackout coming through that ASR muzzle brake, and that is fairly loud. Now, we are shooting some Subsonic to start us off with, so we'll go ahead and throw some subs in here in a little bit, but I just wanted to get a feel for this. Overall, what I would say is that this package is very nice and short, and I can definitely appreciate that. Not sure if I love this hand stop up front, but that's not the gun. That's just a personal preference that I had thrown on there previous to today. So, first shots, feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. All right, let's be honest. This isn't a distance gun. So I paced this out. We're sitting at 25 yards. We're not on a bench, but we are going to see a little bit of accuracy here. Perfect. So 3 shots. Let's go ahead and take you guys down there, see what it looks like. All right, these were the first couple of shots there. So 25 yards, pretty good group, I would say for me. We are not zeroed. That is a brand new optic and it has not been zeroed. So we were aiming right for that cluster of tape right there. So it looks like we're a little low left, but overall the group itself, not too bad. All right, so first impressions, no suppressor on, is definitely loud. I think that's a combination as well of the barrel being 5.5 inches, so it's gonna be closer to the shooter, especially with a muzzle brake like that on, is pretty concussive. However, we're not here to shoot this thing unsuppressed, so we went ahead and threw on that Chimera 30 cal can, and we are gonna get our first shots in. Still shooting supersonic for now, but let's go ahead and get a feel for this. All right, so initially right off the bat, it's definitely kicking a little harder with that gas pressure. It feels pretty comfortable actually to hold it like this versus this. Could be the hand stop, but even like this length of position is a little awkward for me. So I do like it like that a little bit. We'll keep shooting it. Let's take a few more shots downrange and see how it's feeling. Or one more and reload. All right, we're loaded back up, and real quick, I know this is more of a suppressor thing, but I do want to take a look at the point of impact shift with the can on in combination with the barrel. So I did leave the target up there with the same 3 holes from earlier in the video, and we're gonna go ahead and shoot and see if we see anything different there. All right, let's go check it out. All right, so I would actually say that those are pretty darn good, not much of an impact shift. Looks like we dropped one there, but we can go ahead and blame that on the cold because my hands are frozen right now. So we took a couple early shots, and I'm sure you guys can appreciate that. However, let's take a couple steps back and get a better understanding of what could really make this one of the best 300 blackouts on the market. Now, first and foremost, we have ourselves a pretty short overall package. Like I said earlier, we've got that 5.5 inch barrel, and not to mention, we've got ourselves a foldable stock. So when we have this in the folded configuration, as you can see, this thing is pretty dang short. Now with that said, it doesn't give you a whole lot of length up front in terms of that front handrail or anything that you're planning on putting up there. Now for the rest of this, of course, it all can be changed out to your preference. However, from the factory, we've got ourselves a charging handle that I would consider fairly small, especially on a day like today when it's cold and I can barely feel. I mean, it's hard to get a really good grip on. In terms of the bolt release, I would say that feels pretty comfortable. I like the positioning of it, and it's pretty prominent in terms of being able to get my thumb on that. For the pistol grip, this here, dog water. I mean, it's terrible. I thought I was gonna be okay with it, so I didn't change it out. But after being out here today, I am going to change this as soon as I get home. I'm gonna figure something out. We're gonna have to get this off of this gun It does not feel good. It doesn't feel comfortable. Not a fan. Now, when it comes to the trigger, we've got ourselves just a little bit of take up, a nice solid wall there, and a very clean break. Actually, can appreciate that. Reset is nice. Not a bad trigger overall. Of course, it's not a guy's leap, but again, not a fair comparison there. So I would say that the trigger itself is pretty good. Here's a look for you guys. So, decent trigger there. Let's get the cam back on and get some more shots in. Yeah. All right, we've been shooting some supers. We've got some subs loaded up now. Let's go ahead and get some of these downrange. Oh yeah. Obviously much quieter, and the recoil impulse is a lot better. Let me go ahead and take my ears out real quick. Okay, ears out. Let's go ahead and, oh, yeah. So yeah, in terms of throwing those subs in, obviously makes a difference. That's what the gun's made for. We did have a little bit of trouble finding some subs this week, so we had to stick some supers in there for the most part, but nonetheless, we got some subs in. Sounds great, feels great, definitely feels better than the supers. So yeah, a lot to think about. So where does that leave us? Is the SIG Rattler truly the best 300 Blackout on the market? Well, that's a good question. And to be honest, it has a lot of good things going for it, including the 5.5-inch barrel, along with that 1 in 5 twist rate, which has been a huge topic of discussion down in the comments below. Overall, we have a shorter package. We've got that folding stock with a decent trigger. We've got a needs to be replaced grip and a could be replaced charging handle. I think that the recoil impulse has been pretty good with the Supersonics, and with the Subsonics, I would consider it really good. Overall, to truly answer this question from my personal opinion, I think that we need to get both guns out here and put them side by side. If you guys still think the Rattler is the best 300 Blackout on the market, go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. Or if you think that there's something else out there that we need to check out, go ahead and add that as well. If you guys enjoyed this content and enjoyed me freezing my toes off getting out here to put this video together, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and of course, share this with a friend or two. And as always, stay safe and shoot straight.